What is up, everybody? Welcome to Party on Broad. Today, we are breaking down some Philadelphia Eagles top storylines, top question marks for the Birds heading into training camp. We took a couple 2-week hiatus talking some Sixers free agency and trades and whatnot, but we're getting back to the meat and potatoes of Party on Broad. Joining me, he's Ryan Reese. Give him a follow at Philly Sports PSA on X. What's up, Ryan?
Not much. Ready to get back to the meat and potatoes of what I do best, and sick of talking the Sixers. Boring.
Oh, Jesus. I hear you, man. I hear you. Also joining us, he is the Rob Lange. Give him a follow next at Philly_Madness. What's up, Rob?
I'm excited for this show. There's nothing like competitions that Dibes is involved in, and somehow or some way he's got some sort of cheat code. It's like Mortal Kombat when you play against Dibes, and he's got the cheat code in at all times. It's so much fun.
Also joining us, we have a special guest from Pro Football Network, Anthony DeBona. Hopefully the first of many. What's up, Anthony?
How's it going, guys? I'm kind of excited and scared at the same time to be involved in this competition, but I'm ready for it. Let's go.
Yeah, this is the off season, so we try and do as many fun and interactive things as possible. Tonight, we're doing the Great Birds Debate. It's we haven't done one on Party and Broad a while. The last few were on Birds of the Roundtable, which is the Tuesday night show. And I'm pretty sure Ryan and Shane were in cahoots to take me down on the last one. But anyway, we are doing all the top storylines and question marks surrounding the Eagles. It's a 30-second debate show. The winner or the judge picks the winner. First one to get 4 victories gets the dub. Let's see who gets the first question for this evening. Good luck, gentlemen.
All right, look at that. Big start. Big start.
Big start.
Get to start as the host. I love it.
Although Shane did break this down, like how many questions and stuff, like you can be the judge and you cannot get the W. So there is some science to this.
There's no surprise that Shane was able to break down those numbers, by the way. No surprise at all.
Shane broke out the expected points added of apple to apple. I love him for that.
All right, Rob. So Rob's going to get this question. Rob will pick who gets first, second, and third to answer this question. If someone picks their specific player or storyline, that next person, the person after that, cannot touch that. So, Rob, this is your question.
All righty. My eyes are really bad, so someone may have to say it out loud.
I got you, man. I got you. All right. Question. This is Rob's question. Which categories does Jalen Hurts belong among quarterbacks? The Mahomes tier, the elite tier, the postseason quarterback tier, or the melting pot tier?
Let's just say I'm so glad that I don't have to answer this. This was the one that I could not figure out where I really stood. So, out of fun, Anthony, you're the newcomer here, man. So I'm going to start with you. I want to hear where you're at on this.
So I'm going to go with the postseason quarterback tier because I feel like after last season, it's a little difficult to kind of count on him in the regular season based on what we saw last season. And obviously he had that epic performance in the Super Bowl 2 years ago. So I feel like he's not in that first elite tier, that Mahomes tier. I don't know if you could definitely see him in that second tier either. I feel like he's right around where like Burrow, Herbert, those guys are, because I feel like it would kind of be Mahomes, then Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen in that second tier, and then he would kind of be in that third tier. So if that's what that equates to, that's what I'm going to go with in this one.
All right, time's up. Well done, Anthony.
Well done.
That was exactly spot on. 30 seconds. Rob, who's up next?
You are Dibes. It's your turn, buddy.
I'm going to say he is the elite tier. And I'm going to say, for better or worse, it is Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore is going to lock this guy. We're going to see more comebacks. We're going to see more quick slants. We're going to see more checkdowns. We're going to see Jalen Hurts get out the ball faster. We're not going to see the vertical routes anymore. We're going to see Jalen Hurts actually learn how to or get back to 2022 Jalen Hurts when it comes to dealing with the blitz. For me, I think Jalen Hurts, Kellen Moore, they are going to be in cahoots in 2024, and it's going to put him back into MVP status. Week 12, he was the runner-up or first guy for MVP. We're getting back to that Jalen Hurts 2022 form.
All right. And with that, finally, Mr. Reese is not happy with me on question 1. That's awesome.
I didn't want to go the other one.
Do it, Mr. Reese. You got this. I have faith.
I feel like this is one of those where I spend 20 minutes just bitching about Rob for selecting me third. But listen, I'm going to go Mahomes tier here. I know I might shock people here, but guess what? Mahomes wasn't Mahomes tier in his first couple of years. It took him a little bit to get there. It took him a little bit of consistency. Now, obviously, Jalen Hurts has been dealing with a different coordinator every single year. He's got all this different stuff. I think finally, this is a good system for him. He's got amazing weapons. He's got run game support here. This is going to be his best chance to show us exactly who he is as a quarterback. And I think we're going to see him take that next step and blow everybody out of the water and have him in that conversation with Patrick Mahomes.
Very interesting. You know, you were in a tough spot there, Rye, and you did a good job. I'll give you that. You did a good job. You're not going to win this one, but you did a good job.
I was actually like more so melting pot than elite tier, and the fact that Ryan went Mahomes tier.
Yeah.
Well, here's times. Why didn't you go melting pot?
Yeah. I don't want to listen. The other thing that you have to say with this is we're talking about where he is currently, and I don't know if you can put someone in an elite tier because there's a new offensive coordinator. That to me doesn't mean you're elite. When you're elite, you're elite. It doesn't matter who your coach. You're an elite quarterback. The problems against the blitz last season and 2 seasons ago, like before the Super Bowl run, are why I don't think you can put him ahead of the postseason quarterback tier right now. I think that's dead on where he's probably at because there hasn't been the consistency to call him elite or Mahomes. So with that, Anthony, you come right in and you got point number 1 in the game. Well done. Well done.
I'll take it. I don't know if I should be happy about it because I don't want to make everybody else upset, but I'll take it.
All right, let's go to the next question. Anthony, this is your question. That was a tough question to start off.
Yeah, it was.
What's the biggest position of need for the Eagles heading into training camp?
All right, so I'm gonna kind of do him a little bit of a favor, but I'll let Ryan go first this time.
That was very nice of you.
It's so nice. It's so nice. Great, because now I don't even know what
he doesn't have an answer.
Oh no! Oh no!
Listen. I do know because I've been saying it for the last 42 years of my life, and that's linebacker. I don't care about your Devin Whites. I don't care about your Nakobe Deans. He's got to prove it on the field. I need more linebackers. I need them to go out and bring somebody in because even with Devin White and Jeremiah 5th round Trotter, and the oft injured Nakobe Dean, that is all you have. That is all you have. Every other positional group on the defense has been improved. And yes, linebacker has, but when you're already the worst in the league, anything's better than that. So they need to get better at linebacker right now.
All right, so I pick who goes next now, right?
Yep.
Oh man, I'll go with Rob.
All right. This is going to be kind of off the wall, but hear me out on this one. The second tight end position is a major hole, if you ask me right now, because here it is. You have Dallas Goedert, who has not played a full season in quite a few years, so you can't count on him. CJ Uzoma has been injury prone as well. So to me, outside of that, Jack Stoll's gone. You can't count on Grant Calcaterra. You can't count on the rookie free agent. You don't have anybody at this position, and I'm not a big fan of going in when you have an injury-prone guy so far like Dallas Goedert has been. Really? Would you give me 10 seconds?
That's right.
This is nonsense. Anthony, you know where I was going.
Yeah, I got you.
All right, I guess I'll go.
Yep.
I guess I'll go. For me, it's defensive tackle. Carter, Davis, Milton Williams. All those 3 guys are going to have major roles moving forward, and all those guys have to really step up in a big way in 2024, especially Jordan Davis. They brought in some guy named Mustapher. They got Tui Pelotu, who's a backup nose tackle. Ojomo's kind of an unknown. The key cog to any great defense is rush up the interior. And you look at the run defense from last year that took a nosedive. For me, it's defensive tackle, which is really thin at this point. And I think defensive tackle is like the one position that they have to bring in somebody at training camp.
Look at that. So Dives went 5 seconds over. I just want to make that very clear.
I think that was like 45 seconds on my clock. But this is definitely going to seem like favoritism, but I'm going to go with Ryan. I feel like when I was prepping for this, that was kind of my answer in mind that I had in mind. I just feel like even with Devin White, he's kind of your top option, and you're even not even sure about him. So, I mean, Nakobe Dean, we don't know if he can stay healthy. The options behind them, Jeremiah Trotter Jr., Oren Burks, Ben Van Sumeren. I mean, are you really confident in any of those? So, I mean, your only answer is even still an unknown in Devin White. So I feel like linebacker is the spot that I would go with.
Right. So Ryan's got a W. Anthony's got a W.
I would like to say I did enjoy Rob's answer because I've been screaming tight end too for the last 4 months.
Anybody that's followed me on Twitter knows that tight end two I've been calling for years.
Yeah, I just was surprised when I looked into it. I'm like, wait a minute.
But I actually do think Uzama's pretty good. So I don't know. Maybe I'm in the minority.
Yeah. No, believe me, Dives will tell you. I've been screaming for tight end too as we've done draft prep work heading into the draft this year.
Yep. Ryan, what's up, man? Real answer is defensive tackle edge. That was your W. Dives, says Davey.
Oh, no.
That's two positions, Davey. You can't pick two positions.
Yes, Davey.
Oh, man.
God.
All right.
Here it is. That's Dives' burner account, by the way. Dives just wrote that.
Oh, I love it. All right, let's get me a good question here. Coop. Nope. Save the Cooper DeJean question. All right.
Okay.
Who gets more targets in 2024? Anais Smith, Johnny Wilson, or Britton Covey? Wow. I do love the target question. Listen, I will go. I'll go with Anthony here first, since he gave me that nice victory. We'll pay it back, and I screw Dives. So
I greatly appreciate this. So I'll go with Anais Smith. I feel like he's kind of the easy answer here because Johnny Wilson's probably not seeing the field unless one of the top two gets hurt, and I feel like Anais Smith's the only guy that you can kind of put in that wide receiver 3 conversation. Paris Campbell is kind of the similar style of player, but Anais Smith is obviously younger, higher upside. I just feel like the versatility he offers out of the slot is much needed and could be used in the rookie year.
All right. Dives, go ahead.
You stole it, Anthony. How about Britton Covey? I mean, this is a guy that nobody talks about. Gets slept on every single time. One of the best returners in football last year. And people are now writing him off on their initial 53-man rosters. Give me Britton Covey here. Maybe he's a guy that steps up in a big way at wide receiver and kind of turns some heads at training camp. Give me Britton Covey, baby.
All right, Rob, bring us home, buddy. Johnny Wilson.
I don't even want to answer. But I just talked about we don't have a backup tight end. He's not a tight end, but he's a big body that can catch the ball over the middle of the field, something they're going to need. Short dink and dunk passes. Johnny Wilson's the guy for the job. Britton Covey will get his leg broken in a half a second. So he's out, and I love Anais Smith. But that's besides the point. Johnny Wilson.
Yeah. Well, listen, I think this one was rigged from the start. I think Anais Smith is probably could be the only one to make the roster here, to be perfectly honest. Yes. So Anthony with the easy victory there. Couldn't. Sorry, guys.
All right, Anthony's got 2 victories. 2 victories.
Our show's going to be 17 minutes long because Anthony's going to win.
I'll start tanking. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Ryan says Cam Jurgens the main focus. It has to be. Hurts struggled last year. Big time with one of the best centers of all time. Now he's having to be under another guy who is switching back to center after playing guard. And with Kellen Moore, you expect a lot more under center. That is a great comment, Ryan. Love that comment. He also says Dives, it wins. Covey can catch, returns and not fumble. I'm getting the people's vote. I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah, He did not say you won. He's telling you how stupid your answer was because he can only catch return and not fumble.
Oh, I totally read that wrong.
You totally put the word wins in.
Of course you did. He's twisting it.
All right.
Yeah, punt returns don't count as targets there, Dives.
I don't like these questions so far. Like they're
Your
wheel
question.
spinner's not being polite. All right, Anthony, this is your question. Which play on the Eagles' defensive line could be the biggest surprise of 2024?
I feel like Rob's been dealt a tough hand so far, so I'm going to give him the floor.
Oh.
on this one.
Yeah. I didn't want to.
Now, as far as the biggest surprise, I'm going to go with the Jomo. Dibes talked about how thin they are at defensive tackle, and they're going to need a fourth one. And I really thought this guy had an opportunity to play last year. They were really high on him coming out of training camp, if I remember. Look, he's got pedigree. He's got size. He could come in there. He could spell Jordan Davis. I think he absolutely could be the fourth defensive tackle on the roster, and I think he can make some big-time plays for them.
All right. Dibes.
Yeah, for me, I mean, I don't know if you want to call it a surprise, but give me Milton Williams, kind of forgotten man on that defensive line. Milton Williams, he's still just 25 years old, going into his fourth year. Kind of the PFF darling. He's got, 36 pressures the last 2 years. And this is a guy that you look at Fletcher Cox off the team now. This guy is going to jump into a major role in 2024. Give me Milton Williams as the guy that becomes a household name this season.
Right.
Damn, that's disrespectful from Milton
Yeah.
Williams.
Already a household name.
Yeah, exactly. Listen, it's Jalix Hunt. This is a guy that still nobody knows who he is.
And they still won't know.
No, they will know. They absolutely will know his name. And let me tell you, he's going to come in, and it's going to be a slow start. But, man, by the halfway point of the season, we're all going to know him as he is going to do some freakish things out there on the football field, and he is going to be in that rotation head B by midseason.
All right, this might be a little bit before I decide my winner. This might be a little bit of a question, but do you think he switches to 13? Because that might win or lose you this question right now. Does he make the switch to 13 that he wore in college?
Mm.
I'm going to go no.
All right,
I
Deej
just lost.
I mean, I'm big on the hype train and of Milton Williams. I've tweeted about it. I think he's gonna go off this season. I know you guys say he might not be kind of a surprise, but I think he's gonna do really good things as probably the starter and really contribute the most that he's done in his career so far.
Yeah, and the Eagles probably won't be able to afford him this offseason. All right.
Definitely.
If Jordan Davis has a good season, that would be a surprise.
That's messed up.
I was going to say Davey might have actually won.
Ouch.
Jordan Davis.
He's still a good run defender, man.
Dude, he's looking svelte.
Yes. He is looking svelte.
All right, this is my question. I've got one. Anthony's got two, and Ryan's got one.
Rob, how many do you have?
A big goose egg.
I'm showing you right now.
Ooh. I'm kind of mad I didn't get this one. All right. The Eagles will win the NFC East in 2024 because fill in the blank. Anthony, lead us off, man.
I'm going to go with the coaching staff. I think the changes at offensive and defense coordinator are huge. I mean, if I need to decide one, I'll go Kellen Moore because I just think the offense is going to look completely different. It's going to be, as you mentioned before, a lot more under center, a lot more quick passes, utilizing the middle of the field, not so much relying on Jalen Hurts running or these vertical routes. I just feel like it's exactly what this team needs to kind of turn things around.
Rob.
We're going to keep it simple. They are the best roster top to bottom in the division. And with this new coaching staff, they're going to play like it. And I think that that's going to be the biggest factor. You got a rookie quarterback in Washington. You got New York doing whatever the hell New York's doing. And you have Dallas, who did not sign a free agent this year. I mean, to me, the Eagles are the most ready to win team. Nobody wins a division twice in a row. So the Eagles are going to slide right back in and win it this year because they're the best team. Bottom line.
Ryan.
Yeah, listen, when you look at what every team did, and the Eagles had two goals this offseason. It was to get younger and to get faster. And they absolutely nailed those with their offseason plan. And I think they did a really good job of mitigating some of the losses that you know, with Kelsey and Cox and et cetera, with replacing some of the talent onto this team. And Rob's kind of right there. You know, nobody did jack to kind of fight them. And I know everybody's going to pump Dallas up, but they're dog water. So I'm not even worried about them.
All right. This one's kind of hard. Time for UFO Football says, who is filling in for Phil tomorrow? It will be Pat Bernard.
Oh,
tomorrow
God.
morning.
Oh,
Yeah.
boy. It's going to get strange. And I'm in for it. I am for it.
Hide the children. I'll just leave it. Is Paris Campbell the secret weapon on offense as third receiver? Right now, absolutely. But we'll see if they add anybody. But as of right now,
he is, but all right.
he looks like wide receiver 3. I'm gonna go Anthony. I just didn't. I don't like your answers. If you would have gave me like a half-assed answer, I would have probably went with either one of you two. But Anthony gave me like the most logical response, and that was Kellen Moore and this team getting back to putting Jalen Hurts in.
Players play, damn it! Players play. Players play.
I put it out there again. I am not going to drink the Kool-Aid again after what we saw. This team completely collapse at that second half of last season. I'm not going to just look at the roster and just say this is the best of the best of the best. I'm not going to do that this year. No, it's not happening.
Well, it might be the best of the worst, but still.
But look at his shirt. His shirt says it all, man.
I can't do it, man. I can't do it.
Dying on that hill.
Dying on the hill, baby.
Anthony,
my daughter read the shirt today. She had no idea what the hell it meant.
All right.
Well, how much are we playing up to? 4 or 5? Just so
4.
Okay.
Phil already won. I mean, Anthony already won. He's playing.
Ooh.
All right.
Most improved player.
So I'll give Dibes the floor here.
Oh, man. All right. I'm up. All right. Let me remove this. All right. Most improved player for me is going to be Nolan Smith. I think the Eagles forever have refused to play young players on that defensive side of the ball. You look at Nolan Smith, 11.3 snaps per game last year. This is a guy that not only has elite talent, but his pressure rate last year was really good when he did get on the field. And you look at the way the defensive line is shaping up. Nolan Smith is expected to take a huge leap forward for the Philadelphia Eagles this year. Give me Nolan Smith, who the Eagles really need him to perform well.
I'll go with Ryan since he's already making noises.
Sorry. You got to keep knives in check sometimes. Yeah, listen,
yes,
you know what? Yeah, you absolutely do. I'm going to say Nakobe Dean. I know it's a little shocking here, but we're literally expecting pretty much nothing from this guy. And he's going to come in, and he is absolutely going to be a member of this linebacking core of this football team. And we're going to remember the fact that we, drafted him a couple of years ago in the 3rd round when he should have been a first rounder. And listen, he is going to be, along with Devin White, a good pairing there in the linebacker position.
All right, Rob.
Thank you for bringing my answer right into it. It's going to be Devin White. There's not a question about it, because here's the facts of the matter. All these people are telling me is that he stinks because of one bad year. The guy was an all-pro not more than 2 or 3 years ago. Not only that, Tampa Bay decided yesterday to sell his jersey for $22 on NFL.com. The second lowest selling jersey, only behind Carson Wentz. That's a slap in the face. Devin White's going to see it. Devin White's going to get to fly around under Vic Fangio. And I'm telling you right now, he's back on a multi-year deal after what he does for the Eagles this year.
All right,
That's right. I said it, Ryan.
This might not be how I should judge things, but I just appreciate the wrestling type promo that this guy just gave. So I'm gonna give it to Rob this round.
Wow, no.
Wow.
Just bring in all the cheers, baby. $22. Only Carson Wentz Indianapolis Colts jersey selling less.
You might be the only human being that knows that they are selling that jersey for $22.
Saw a tweet today, and you know damn well I commented, add fuel to the fire, baby.
Did you buy one?
I love how Rob just thinks the Eagles are suddenly going to start blitzing their linebackers.
He's just going to make plays, baby. He's just going to make plays, baby. Making plays left and right. Making plays.
So overrated. All right. Let's roll.
The comeback is on. Let's go.
All right.
Love it.
Good one. Oh, man.
Cooper DeJean will be playing the most snaps at blank by the end of the 2024 season. Mr. Reese, lead us off, sir.
Listen, there's one and only one answer, and it is cornerback, and it's going to be slot corner. This man is absolutely yes, yes. I think I just won just for that.
We've made him quit.
Yeah. Listen, I know everybody says they want to shove him to safety. It's not happening right now. They are literally putting him in at corner. They want to see exactly what he has, because if they do, they could have him and Q as the future corners for this team, and it's going to be a beautiful thing. And there's no way about it. He's not playing safety this year.
Well, because Dives was so happy about your answer, I'm making him go next right away.
Yeah, I've been calling him a slot corner for a while, but I'll also say I put him number one safety prospect in last year's draft for a reason. I think there's a good enough chance that, by mid-season, the end of this season, that maybe C.J. Gardner-Johnson gets hurt or so forth, and we get to see him get a start there at safety, and he looks really good. And I think in 2-3 years from now, I think he's going to be the perfect C.J. Gardner-Johnson slot corner safety hybrid that is the future of this team, the new Malcolm Jenkins for this defense.
All right, fair enough. Anthony, finish us off.
Well, obviously I was put in a tough spot here, but I'll go outside cornerback because I guess that's where he's going to have to play, because, I mean, he's not going to play. And I can't say nickel, I can't say safety, so outside cornerback. Maybe something happens with Darius Slay, he starts struggling, or the team struggles and they trade him at the trade deadline, something crazy like that. But I guess he'll be outside cornerback next year.
All right. Very, very good answers. I came into this thinking slot corner. So I got to stick with slot corner and go with Ryan here. That's where I think he's going to play, and I think he's going to play from day one, to be very honest with you.
I would just like to have it noted, I think I should get a bonus point for making
Yeah.
Dives leave. leave.
Half a point.
Although I'd like that segment pulled and put on Twitter by itself, no bonus points.
We can do that.
Without a doubt, like the player I cannot wait to watch the most this training camp, this preseason. When we were talking before we went live about all 22s, that's the guy I'm going to be watching every single snap.
Sure, it's not Devin White.
No,
Nope.
it's not. It's definitely not Devin White.
Definitely not.
Yeah,
All right, just to recap real quick. All right, Ryan, you have 2, correct?
2 points.
Rob, you have 1, correct?
1.
Anthony has 3. I have 1.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So Anthony is 1 victory away.
So we're gonna have this end right here, right now.
Ryan,
Well, with the boots you two have been in, maybe.
It held on. Nope. Oh, wow. All right. Who has more sacks next season? Nolan Smith, Brandon Graham, or the defensive tackle field? So you're saying every single defensive tackle combined, or one of them?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, because we wouldn't want him to win right away and have it so easy. Dives, I'll go with you first.
Damn it.
It's easily the defensive tackle field on this one. You look at Jalen Carter and Milton Williams, I think easily 4 sacks for Milton Williams. Jalen Carter, that first stretch of the season, he was arguably the best defensive player in the NFC. And for me, top to bottom, this defensive tackle field has real potential if it all clicks. And let's not throw it out. I mean, Jordan Davis, if he does, take that next step, he has some pass rush. Abilities. We all saw him trip up Josh Allen. All right, time's up.
Yeah, time's up. All right, Rob, go ahead.
I'm going to take Nolan Smith here, and part of it's going to be because a lot of the everyone's going to be paying attention to Bryce Huff. And, I don't know what Josh Sweat is yet. We don't know after last season, right? The consistency wasn't there last season. So does Nolan Smith get more snaps over at that end? And is he ready to take that jump? And I believe he is. The guy was a player. He was a captain on the Georgia big-time defensive teams. I think he's ready to take that jump. And if Josh Sweat falls off a little bit, it's going to be Nolan Smith.
All right, Anthony, finish this
All
off.
right, so roll with Brandon Graham. I feel like Josh Sweat switched to number 19, so he might not even make the final roster now after that disgusting move. and then, like you mentioned, the depth at defensive tackle and on the edge, you don't really know anybody proven really out there. You don't know what's going to happen. So BG's been that steady force for a decade now, and I mean, he might be able to play some defensive tackle, some edge that'll get him on the field more than the other guys, and maybe give him a chance to get some more sacks.
There you go. Yeah, I almost want to give it to you just for that the 19 conversation, which, by the way, what the hell was that? Like, that came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Not cool, dude.
No.
But yeah, unfortunately, I hate to always give this man any credit. But Dives, it's got to be you, buddy. The defense, hell, you could pick one of the defensive tackles, and I think they'll have more sacks. BG.
Not a lot of love on Nolan Smith. Ooh.
Well,
Nolan Smith's getting 9.5 this year.
Oh, my God.
Jesus. Oh, my God.
I said it.
I
said
Put
it.
that on a shirt, too.
That's on a shirt, too. Next shirt that's made.
It'll be arriving in 3-4
It's a
weeks.
full of made shirts, custom shirts.
All the crazy shit Rob says.
Yeah. Just put it in a book.
All right, I've got 2. Let's keep it rolling here. All right, question is,
Can't do this.
what's the biggest reason for optimism surrounding the 2024 Eagles? Rob, you're up.
You know, I'm going to say it's because they have still a good mix of depth of young and veteran on the team. And I think that's important to have a mix of that. You have the young guys. You've created some depth with your young guys, but you also got some veteran leaders, and you got a lot of guys that were here last year and have a bad taste in their mouth coming off of that. Couple that with the new coaching staff, and I think all of that put together is going to build a really strong foundation, and they're not going to have a 5, 6, 7 game slip up again because too many of them are going to remember what happened last year.
All right, Anthony.
I kind of went with Kellen Moore earlier, but I'm going to go with Vic Fangio this time. I feel like he's not a guy that's going to get fired midseason, so that's going to be some stability that they didn't have last season. So I feel like him, he's obviously the guy that made the scheme, so he knows what to do, how to utilize players. We already see him doing some interesting things, even though it's early in the offseason. But I just feel like the talent has been there. It just hasn't been a steady coach that's been able to put them in the position to succeed. So I think he'll be the reason why.
Ryan.
Yeah, it's simply because we have adults as coordinators. Last year, we had people that didn't know what the hell they were doing. They were young in their coordinator careers, and they folded. Plain and simple. Now we have adults who know exactly what they're doing, know exactly what their scheme is, exactly how they want their defense and or offense, how to run. And we have the absolute talent now, especially on the offensive side, to execute. So I think that's what we need to be more focused on, is the fact that we have people who know what the hell they are doing.
Anthony's response that we don't have Matt Patricia on.
I mean, that's a strong response.
That was so good. And like, that guy had no idea what he was doing. Nobody on defense had no idea what they were doing. But then Ryan kind of brought it home. The adults are in the room this year. I like that response a lot. So I'm going to give it to Ryan. That's your win.
All right.
All right. Rolling on. So, Ryan, you have 3.
I have 3.
Anthony, you have 3.
Yes.
Rob has 1.
You have
and I
2?
have 2.
Okay. All right. Getting down to it. All righty. What's the one position that Howie likes the least on the Eagles roster right now? What is the one position Howie likes the least? Oh, that is Rob. Since you only have 1 point.
Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. I wanted to say that out loud. You go ahead.
Well, this goes against everything I stand for and I wear, but it's going to be linebacker. And that's, listen, because of the minimum amount that you have on this roster that can play. I mean, you obviously have a lockdown all-pro in Devin White, but we won't get into that. But then you only have Nakobe Dean. Then you're talking about fifth rounder Jeremiah Trotter Jr. You're talking about Ben Van Sumer. These guys are very unproven. They don't have anybody of any proven resume except for one. But regardless, one guy's not enough. And that is why I think linebacker is the position that Howie hates the most on this roster right now.
Okay. All right.
By the way, I think it deserves to be said. It's very strong that I did that, even with my love affair for Devin White. I just want to make that very well clear.
Duly noted.
Thank you.
Yeah, we got it.
The assumption that Howie even loves the linebacker position is wild.
That's laughable, honestly. All right, Dives. What do you got?
For me, it's offensive line. The first time in a while, I feel like Howie didn't punt a high asset on the offensive line just to play for 2 or 3 years down the road. You know, Howie loves to get guys that aren't going to play immediately and maybe play in year 2 or year 3 or year 4. I think they probably locked Howie in a cage during the draft, and for better for us Eagles fans. But look at the offensive line, and there are some areas there that have some question marks at right tackle. I think offensive line. I think Howie actually not addressing the offensive line in that draft was the surprise.
All right. So
Wait,
just
what was
double
the
check.
question?
I thought it was not,
Yeah, exactly. Not really the answer to the question, but that's okay.
What is the question?
The question is, what is the one position, not position group, that
fine, tackle.
Howie likes the least?
Likes the least that he hates.
Yeah,
Right?
they hate-
Yeah. Okay. I thought I was right on that.
Rob, you were good. You're perfect. Dives, I don't know what the hell you were doing, but whatever.
No, he doesn't, because we don't have a young tackle to
Yeah,
groom in 2 or 3 years from now.
You're just not going to win. It's okay. Anthony, go ahead. Let's see if you can beat Rob's head.
I'm going to go with the third wide receiver. I know it's a little bit specific, but I feel like they don't really have a position, like a set off option there. I feel like he's kind of just thrown a couple of darts this offseason with Paris Campbell and Nia Smith. Devontae Parker quit already, and now they're signing John Ross, who hasn't played in a couple of years. So I feel like we've already kind of seen the desperation there with adding John Ross and what he did in the draft as well with the late picks. So I feel like he's probably not too happy there, and I wouldn't be surprised if they added another player before the training camp started.
I like that. Listen, I still have to go with Rob here. I mean, it's definitely linebackers.
Comeback time.
Linebackers. He hates linebackers. He just does. I would have also accepted tight end too. That would have been.
Oh,
right there.
I missed my chance right
You
there.
were right.
Like,
You were so
The
close.
question is, what does Howie Roseman, what position does he hate? Does he, hold on, what's the question?
This guy.
Self-sabotage.
Unbelievable.
So what position does
He
Howie
hates me
like
so
the
much. He
least?
doesn't want me to win.
Does he like the least? He doesn't like the tight end position.
So
He doesn't
the way
like-
the way I took the question is that which position group did he not like? Was he unhappy with? Like he didn't
Yeah,
like
does he hate
who's in
right
that
now?
room?
Yeah.
That he wants to change.
Yeah. Right. And you went, first of all, Dives, you went with a whole group of people. Anthony went specific.
Thank you, Martian.
And you guys just picked two positions that he never addresses ever.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of
It's the
the
name of the game, dude. Trying to win.
Yeah.
But that's assuming he actually likes it to begin with.
This coming from the guy who picked Milton Williams, who's a household name.
He's not a household name. What are you doing? Nobody knows who Milton Williams is. outside
Oh,
of
stop it.
Get out of here, Ryan. Rob, whatever your name is.
All right. Well, either way, Rob wins.
Heated. Apples to apples is getting heated, and I am here for it. I am here for it, baby.
Don't call it a comeback.
No, wait. Rob, you got 3?
2.
2. Oh,
I
okay.
have 3 soon enough, unless I let Anthony win here.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Outside of Jalen Hurts and Lane Johnson, which player can the Eagles least afford to lose to injury in 2024? All right, Dibes. After you yelled at me, I'll let you go first.
Oh, all right. For me, I'm going to go Jalen Carter. I think this is a guy that really needs to be on his game, playing, a full regular season of dominant football. This defensive tackle group is thin. Jordan Davis, I'm not the biggest fan of. They should have drafted Kyle Hamilton. It is what it is. But Jalen Carter is a guy that I think needs to be an all-pro. He needs to bring it every single week. And I don't think they could afford losing a talent like Jalen Carter, who has potential to be an all-pro this season.
All right. Well said. Well said. Anthony, you're up.
I'll go A.J. Brown. I just feel like Devontae Smith's really good, and we all know he's really good. But, I mean, him being thrust into that number 1 role, and then you don't know who in the world would be the other outside receiver, or we don't know who the third receiver as it is. So I mean, losing A.J. Brown or even Devontae Smith, but A.J. Brown in particular, I think that would be a tough blow to the offense because we know of his connection with Jalen Hurts and how much he would mean to the offense, especially with Kellen Moore likely moving guys around a lot more. So, I mean, I think that would be a huge loss for the offense.
All right, Rye, finish us off.
2 words. 1 color.
I don't know where you're going.
Devin White.
Talk about playing to the judge.
If the Eagles lose Devin White, what the holy hell is behind him? Even if you're not happy with Devin White and you see the dip from last year, from his all-pro years, again, you look at the numbers, et cetera, it's not great. But guess what? He's the only thing that they have in the linebacker room that has any shred of ability and history and veteran on the football field. So if you lose him, my God, Ben Summerlin might be playing a lot.
Wow. I mean, that's a hell of a case you just made. Because it is true. There's no one back there. Oh, God.
Doesn't mean it's not true either. Doesn't mean it's not true.
Listen, it's a great point. It's a total great point. And on most days, I'm right there with you, Rye. But I do believe that even though the Eagles have...
You take off that shirt. Take it off.
Even though the Eagles have a Devontae Smith, man, he becomes a lot, it probably becomes a lot more difficult to get him the ball if A.J. Brown is not out there taking some of that coverage away. And because of that, I'm sorry, buddy. I'm going to go A.J. Brown.
Nice.
All right.
Anthony's the champion.
Win.
Anthony gets the W. My gosh. I can't believe you went Devin White, Ryan. That's ridiculous.
To be completely honest, Jalen Carter was going to be my initial choice. There
you go.
I think those are the big two.
Yeah. I mean, I think Dives' point was dead on with Jalen Carter, especially when you talk about you have, the non-household Milton Williams right behind him, but and after that, nobody.
I'm literally going to make a poll right now. Is Milton Williams a household name?
Oh God,
I'm doing it.
In Philadelphia, sure, but I don't know.
That's what. Hey, the Philadelphia poll, baby.
Let's say where. Listen, all I looked at it is what position are we the thinnest at? Yes, I get the whole A.J. Brown thing, and you're 100% right. Devontae Smith's job becomes insanely hard. But Jalen Carter, listen, I get it. You have a couple guys down there. They may have to play a lot more than we're used to, and more. Jomo maybe got a lot, more snaps, and Mustafa and whoever the heck else you want to throw out there. But I'd much rather trust Jomo than freaking Ben Summerlin.
That's fair.
It's a great point. It's a great point.
Rob, can you even tell me where Milton Williams went to college?
Yeah, it wasn't Louisiana Tech.
Yeah, it was. Oh, in your face.
Here's why I know it. Because that's the infamous draft room video of Howie Roseman picking Milton Williams when I can't remember the guy's name that was on the board, but I remember Dives, you and Mark and all those guys were super high on the other guy. And when Howie went up to dab the guy, and the guy just stared at him, and I was like, "Holy shit, we're in trouble."
Lee McNeil, I think, right?
You also know why you know that? You know why you know that? Because
I'm
because he's a household name.
Yeah, and I'm a damn genius too. I mean, that plays into it.
Lee McNeil was the other guy, right?
That's it. It was a Lee McNeil. Yes. It was a Lee McNeil.
Both ended up being pretty good players. So
yeah. Hey, it worked out.
Man, that was a totally different time frame. 2021.
God.
Lee McNeil.
If you had one of the questions I really liked, and I'm sad that it didn't come up. Which one? Was the most important game on the schedule? I love that question.
You want to do it right now? We can just do it quick.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
For fun,
All right, go ahead.
So I'm going to say at Dallas, and I'm going to say it because we talk about the hype that Dallas is going to get because they always get the hype. The Eagles have not gone down there and won a meaningful game in a really long time. I mean, think about even the Super Bowl season. They lose that game on Thanksgiving. Now, I know Gardner Minshew's playing, but what better way to tell the world and to tell everybody that the kings of the NFC East are the Philadelphia Eagles by going into Dallas, where it's one of the few games they're underdogs in, going down there and beating that team in Jerry World would be ideal. Like, to me, that is the statement game of the season. You go into Dallas and you win, everyone goes, okay, this Eagles team's a little bit different than what they were last year and in years past.
Yeah. That's a really good. Anybody else? I mean, the Cowboys are both games. It's always the Cowboys.
Is the one in Dallas is the first one or the second one, right? Which one?
At Dallas, week 10, and home against Dallas, week 17.
17, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I thought. All right.
I was going to say Ravens if it's okay.
Yeah, I was
jump
about
ahead
to
of
say
you.
Ravens.
Yeah, I just feel like first game of December, that's kind of when they started spiraling out of control last season.
Yeah.
Around that second
That's
half.
such a tough game.
I think in Baltimore, it's going to be, I think, the most difficult team that they're going to play all season. If you think, like, if you're going by preseason projections and things like that.
Yeah.
They went to the AFC Championship game. So that would be my pick.
I mean, obviously, like Brazil, Packers, like that's such a huge game. But for me, I'm looking at that Cincinnati game, week 8, between Hurts and Burrow. First time in the NFL they've gone up against each other. First time since the 2019 college football playoff semifinals. That's kind of been the MO for the Eagles when they go up against a great quarterback. They tend to struggle. What a great test for this new Eagles secondary. I like that Joe Burrow test.
Yeah. I love me some Joey B. I love me some Joey B.
Yeah. I'm gonna actually say the Buccaneers game. We're going back down to Tampa Bay, getting a little revenge. We haven't been, the whole Devin White.
Rob's gonna buy himself a $22 jersey while he's down there.
Yeah.
I'm down there just for that. I might just fly down.
Listen, I will be at that Ravens game, by the way. That's an easy bus ride.
Party on Broad Trip?
Yeah.
Trip.
So my coworker is part of the marching band for the Ravens. So I'm already like working on getting us cheap tickets.
Party on Broad Trip. Let's make it. I'm in. Sold.
We'll go to the Philly Sports Trips tailgate.
Yes, sir.
Let's go. But yeah, for whatever reason, I just think that Tampa Bay game, just for their own psyche, I think is going to be an important thing. It's relatively, earlier in the schedule. Get that monkey off their back and just kind of go forward through with the season.
Well, and the Bucks, the blueprint. Weren't they didn't they have the highest blitz percentage in the league last year? You know what they're going to do, and they're just going to bring it until Jalen Hurts shows that they can counter. So that's a great one. I think that's like week 4, right?
I went to an Eagles game in Tampa once, and Jerome McDougal kicked a flag after the Eagles took the lead with about 10 seconds left after trailing all game. McDougal kicked the flag, and 62 yards later, the Eagles were going home with a loss. It was so hot, they ran out of water and beer in the stadium. Eagles fans were getting arrested left and right for doing nothing, just for being Eagles fans. It was incredible. It was incredible. And then you lose 62, and then walking out getting just barraged with hate. It actually hurt my soul, and I still remember it.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Of all places, Tampa doesn't seem to be like a place that would.
They at one point to start the game, they were so prepared because apparently the year before there were a lot of problems. To start the game, we were in the upper level, and they lined the stairs with police officers just in the section that Philadelphia Eagles fans were in.
That's insane. Wow.
And then it literally, if you said boo, one lady said that this dude did something to her that he didn't, and they just pulled him out. It was unbelievable. I had people that I was on the trip with get pulled out. One of the girls, she was so drunk that she slipped out of the cop's handcuffs and said, "Aha!" I was like, "That's probably not smart. that's not a smart thing to do." But
that sounds like there's a good level of alcohol.
And it was like 100, dude. It was like 100, and oh my god, it was so hot that they seriously ran out of water in the stadium. We said, "How does an NFL stadium run out of water?" They did it that day.
Well,
I'll just throw this out there.
Organization.
A game that's not so much the game, but Eagles in New Orleans. I saw the Eagles play New Orleans several years ago, and Saints fans are the nicest people in the world. And Definitely worth the trip. The French Quarter is awesome. Best food I've had in a minute. Probably right up there with like Charleston and things like that. Like excellent food if you love like Southern comfort.
Were they nice to the point of annoying you? How nice they were?
No,
because that's Green Bay fans. Green Bay fans actually make you mad because they are. First of all, one guy asked me to take a picture of me giving his friend the finger just for fun, which I did. Then, as I'm leaving the stadium, I got lost because I left because they fumbled 2 punts. It was Brett Favre's last home opener. They fumbled 2 punts in the game because they did not sign a punt returner that offseason, and it was awful. J.R. Reed fumbled the second one, and I'm leaving. And I'm trying to walk out of the stadium, and everyone's going, "Hey!" And they're coming up and shaking my hand. Thank you so much for you guys are an amazing fan base, and your team. My God, you should have won today. You should have won today. And I'm like, "F you, dude. I don't want to know what I should have done because we did it. We didn't win. We fumbled 2 punts." I was like, "Stop being nice to me." It was like almost to the point where I was like, "I hate this."
Rob's holding a lot of hate in.
A lot of trips over the years, 16 or 17 of them, and I've had some stories.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, that Saints game is one that is definitely on my radar of away game to go to this year for sure, along with that Baltimore one.
All right. Let's wrap it up. Anthony, thank you so much for hopping on. You're 1-0, man. You got to come back and like.
Oh, for
the title.
This is not the last of me. I appreciate you guys having me on, and I'll definitely be back if you welcome me back. So I'm in.
100%.
Absolutely, man.
Awesome. Thank you, sir.
Where can we find you? What do you got going over with Pro Football Network? Time's yours, man.
At the Bona PFN on Twitter. That's where you'll see me talk a lot. Like you said, Pro Football Network. You can find my work there. I've been coming up with a lot of all-time Eagles lists that have been kind of controversial on Twitter, depending on who you ask. But there's more of those coming as well, so be on the lookout for those.
All right, man. Amazing Eagles follow, NFL follow right there at the Bona PFN, man. Thanks for hopping on. Ryan, anything you want to plug? Final thoughts?
Yeah, just a quick happy Memorial Day to everybody out there. Thanks everybody for all those who have sacrificed for the freedoms we have. Even if we may not like them, they still are ours. And I'm throughout Edge of Philly, Mondays, Tuesdays. You can find me around. So, and then right here on X. So,
Rob,
hey, catch me right here, Partying on Broad every Monday. I'm thinking either I gotta actually sit down, talk with Dives and our boy Al. But I'm thinking next week or the week after. It's time. PSD, baby. Philadelphia Sports Disorder. It's coming. The doctor's in. I'm going to talk you through it by telling you how to act irrationally because, damn it, that's just what we do. All right, so stay tuned for that. It's coming.
Just one more thing. You could also catch Rob in the Link parking lot selling those Devin White T-shirts. So just,
yes.
check those out.
I actually need to make up the money I paid for this one because I got the real good material. So I'll be making cheaper ones for $9.99. I'll be selling them, I'll have them in a trash bag like all the wonderful salespeople we have down there. And,
come to Lot M. I'll help you.
All right. I appreciate it, Rye. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'll be there.
I love how like Devin White's now become essentially the new Jalen Reagor, where we're literally going to watch his performance every single week.
It's flipped. It's flipped, Dives. It's flipped because you were the Reagor guy.
I know. And it's going to be really fun to watch. NFL draft. I've covered 32 guys in the NFL draft for 2025. If you are excited for that, go check that out.
I don't know what I'm doing next week. He's got 30 guys done for 2025.
This guy, he is a machine.
Unbelievable. He's a freaking machine, man.
I haven't done anybody in like 3 weeks. So I've been on a hiatus with the NBA draft and getting us ready here for the NBA draft in a month. We'll be doing an NBA draft watch party with Sean and Mark and Ryan Quill from Pick Swap Media. So be on the lookout for that. But
your comment this week, very frustrating, Dibes. Very frustrated comment from you this week.
Which one? I've got a lot.
Which one?
That you texted us, and I was ready to kill you yesterday. When you said, or Saturday when you said, I love Kyle Filipowski, who's softer than baby doo-doo. With nothing to do with that guy.
Wow. That's a whole other conversation. We'll save that for another show. We'll get back to Sixers off-season targets probably within the near future. But thank you again, Anthony, for joining. Again,
problem. Thank
one
you,
last
guys.
time, DeBona PFN, Anthony DeBona on X. Make sure you go check him out. He is Ryan. He is Rob. He is Anthony. We'll see you back Mondays at 9 o'clock. Tomorrow night, Birds of the Roundtable. We'll be talking more training camp, off-season topics as always. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Thank you, everyone, for commenting. Stay awesome, everyone.